All right. Thank you for hopping on. As you can tell, I am El Casual today, and I did that really on purpose. I thought about like really getting ready for this and being all professional, but quite honestly, I work from home, right? I have a business that I can run online, that I can run actually from anywhere, not just home, but anywhere in the world. And most recently, if you've watched on social media, we've had a lot of trips, we've had a lot of travel. We've gone to Dubai this year already, and London this year already, and a week-long spring break in Florida this year already, and a couple of times to Atlanta and Vegas. And there's been a lot of travel. Most and a lot of that is in and around business, but a lot of it has also been for pleasure and for fun. But I get to take my business with me anywhere. And so if I have not gotten a chance to meet you, or you don't know everything about me yet, let me just introduce myself. Tell you a little bit about me. I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. My degree is in business and in marketing. I got my first, big girl job out of college working for corporate America, and learned very quickly that I work really well with others, not so well for others. So shortly after having that job, a couple years into that, I'd worked my way up the ladder, and I was thrown a choice. The company was downsizing and moving out of state, and I could move with them and keep my job, or I could take a severance and go. And at the time, I had the opportunity to partner up with who would become my husband at the time, in a business he had started. And that was my first actual stab at owning, operating a business. And we did that for a number of years together. And I made that choice to do that because I realized that owning a business and being an entrepreneur was just really where I was destined to be at that time. Fast forward, I've owned and operated about 8 startups, and some have been extremely successful. I've sold some off, and some have shut down and have not been successful. And that's a little bit of what we'll talk about today too, is not everything is going to be successful in the business world. And sometimes it takes some hiccups, and sometimes it takes some growing experiences, and it takes a mindset, which is what today's workshop is going to be a little bit about, is more the mindset part of things, and what you need to have to grow a business, and what kind of things are you going to come across along the way that are going to maybe take you out of the game, right? And what do you do about that? So with all of the business experience and the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows, I've had experience in brick and mortar, to online retail, to network marketing, which is where some of you have met me, to an app tech company that we built, an event company that was one of my favorites, but after our second large in-person event, we had to shut it down because we had a pandemic that hit the world, and in-person events just weren't something we could do at the time. So I'm kind of excited that I'm getting back into that space on maybe a little bit different scale. I'll tell you a little bit about that through this workshop too. But what I realized through all of this is that having a never quit, never give up mentality and mindset is one of the most important things, because not everything is going to be a success. Not everything is going to be your home run. And so we need to be able to grow through those things. And if I didn't have the growth mindset that I have, and some of the tenacity and thick skin, most people would have quit a long time ago through some of those struggles. And so after all of those experiences, and being asked numerous times to coach different individuals, whether it's in the network marketing space or people who just want to create an online business for themselves, I finally took that plunge, I would say starting last October, because what I didn't know that I was going to go on this journey. And it actually took an event, maybe not the right word, a podcast that turned into a book, that turned into a challenge, that turned into a 12-hour walk. I'll tell you a little bit about that turned into this entire business idea of self-made. So what is self-made, and why did I create it? I realized along the way in all of my business experiences, and most over the last few years, actually no, all of them, let's just say all of them, I realized, kind of took inventory on how many things I had spent money on and had paid other people to do. There is a saying in that successful business people who've already made it and have had a successful business will say all the time is that if you are working in your business and not on your business, then you don't have a business, you have another job. So I'll say that again. If you are not working on your business instead of inside of your business, you just have another job. And while I don't disagree with that, that's easy for the successful people to say, the people who have already made it, because they have enough funding and they have enough ability and they have enough experience that they can hire out all kinds of things. They have teams of people that can operate all of those things so that they can be just working on their business instead of in their business. And I started the opposite direction. We had good funding. We had enough put together in some of these businesses that we could spend some money to have people working inside of our business so that we could just work on the business. And don't get me wrong, I worked a lot on the inside of the business, but maybe sometimes in the wrong places, and hired out some things that had we just taken the time to maybe learn ourselves, we could have saved ourselves a lot of money. And not even that, it was more like we spent a lot of money on things and then we weren't getting what we thought we should get for the money, or the project didn't turn out the way we wanted it to or way we had envisioned. And so along the way, when I just came across this vision of what I wanted to do, I'd been asked to coach in business startups for a long time and in the network marketing space. I wanted to save people a lot of money. I didn't have a one-person coach for me. I had taken some different trainings here and there, just kind of spotty around, never really a plan or focus to it. I'd paid a lot of people to do my social media stuff and graphic design and website design and building the business parts and putting the accountants and lawyers and all of the things to put all the business pieces together. And at the end of the day, I look back at how much money was spent on all of those things and went, man, just kind of wish I would have done that a different way, but I just didn't know what I didn't know. And so that's really where the idea of creating Self-Made came from, is I want to help people who want to get into the entrepreneurial space. They want to have their own online business of any sort, any shape, fashion, or form. But I will help anybody who wants to create a brick and mortar business too. I have lots of experience in that, but I prefer the online space because what I'm trying to help people create is a freedom and flexibility type of lifestyle. I want to help them create a lifestyle business. I truly and wholeheartedly believe, mindset wise, if you can wake up every single morning and be super passionate about what you are doing, what you are building, and where you are going with your business, then you will not be creating yourself another job. You will be creating yourself a lifestyle brand and business. And in this day and age, I do believe with all of the tools and online capabilities that we have, we can create just about anything we want to, right? So what I usually start with, now, let me see what slide I have on here next. All right, let me go back. So what I usually start with people is my superpowers forum. And if you have not worked through that yet, and even if you did it a long time ago, I have redone it, made it a little bit more intuitive, and it's in a different form now. But I would love for you to go through that. And so I start people with the superpowers forum. And the reason I do that is because I want to find out what you're passionate about. You want to find out what you're passionate about. You want to find out, what do people come to you for advice? Now, let me pause for a second and say this. There are two types of people that I help get started in business. Those who already know what they want to do, they just haven't gotten to the next steps. They haven't taken the next steps. They haven't launched. They have maybe launched, but they just haven't gotten all the pieces and parts and things together that they need. And then there's the person who's like, I really want to have an online business, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what I would do. I know I want to. I would love to work from home, work for myself, have my own thing. I don't want to work for anybody else. I don't want to sell anybody else's products. I want my own business. I help with all of the above, right? So in the superpowers forum, I have you kind of go through, and it's a mindset check. It's why I start there, because I want you to dig deep, learn a few things about yourself, and take just inventory of all the things that you're good at, what you're passionate for. What do people ask you for advice for all the time? And we get those all down in a forum. And each time someone does this, they learn so many things about themselves. And it actually, in the group coaching program that I currently have going on, my first one I launched as a private closed group. I was just getting my feet wet in operations of it. And it was one of the things that slowed them down the most in the very beginning, because you have to answer a lot of questions about yourself. But once we get through those things, we start to realize what we would like to do every day. And then some of the next steps that we go through so that we make sure we are building a business that you are going to love every single day is what kind of hours do you want to work? What kind of money do you want to make? Do you want this to be a part-time thing that you just have a part-time kind of hobby-ish business? Or do you want to have something that is literally something you'll be able to pass down to family members? Like, there's the scale, right? That's all and everything in between. So we like to go through and figure out, where is your head at? Can we match your goals with your desires, with your ability to put the time, effort, and energy in? And so these are all things that we start with in the beginning on mindset, and work through those things. I created this company so that I could help other women who are just like me, who are just like you, and men, I should say, and men too. Actually, I have men in my group coaching program. I do not limit this to just women. It just tends to be more of who I end up working with, but I absolutely love working with men. They actually sometimes get the work done and have less excuses than us women, but that's just how it is, right? Sometimes we have a lot more on our plates. I'll just say that. Sometimes we have families and kids and all kinds of things that we have to organize. So I do work with both, but here's why I'm different. And here's why the Self-Made Biz program is different than most things out there. I start with mindset. I help you do the work and dig through the things in the beginning so that we can clear up all of those blocks, all of those things that might be keeping you held back, all of the things that are going to set you up for having a really good long-term business that you can build on and tack on and stack on forever. I help you build the actual tools. So there are a ton of coaching programs out there and a ton of business coaches that you could pick from and choose from when you're deciding to go on a journey of building your own business. I've been through some of those programs. And in all reality, I will tell you this, in the last 12 months, I was going to add it up earlier and I hadn't gotten all the way through it. So let me do this really fast in my head. 1, 10, 15, 125, 1. I have spent probably right around $130,000 in the last 12 months on my own personal coaching for business. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. That is way more than what my 4-year business degree cost me, way more. And I know that that would blow some people's minds away. I am very serious about taking this program out there and making it massive. Here's what I have found in a lot of coaching programs. Most coaching programs that are out there right now, number one, are teaching people who have maybe already been in business for a while and they're looking to accelerate their business. They're looking for sales. They're looking for growth of their audience. They're looking for done for you type stuff for their business. And I have not found very many people in the space of which I am. And that's helping people get from the idea that they want more to actually creating the business of their dreams. And then we also do all of the rest. We build a very strong foundation and base, starting with mindset, and then we build the basics, which we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow. So make sure you hop on tomorrow. And then we talk about how to take it online and grow it. And we'll talk about that on the third day. But here's a little bit more about why this program is different. It is a done with you program. I walk through all of the steps with you. We make sure you get all the moving parts and pieces that you need so that you can actually obtain customers and build the business and sell the product or service that you have. What I find is a lot of coaches teach you the bigger picture and the mindset maybe, and the, hey, let's just go out and let's sell this. But you have to have all of the moving parts and pieces put together. So even if you have a great idea and I took you through a program of how you actually put it all together, who's helping you do it? Do you need to hire out someone to build all of your things, or can you do it yourself? What platforms do you need to build that on? Can someone provide that to me? Which one should I use? There's so many out there. There's so many things that I'm going to need. I don't even know where to start. And so people get stuck in analysis paralysis and they never actually launch their business, even if they've taken great coaching programs. And I wanted to be different. I wanted to make sure that if you stuck with me for 6 months, we were going to build you from beginning to end, and you would actually have something to walk away with. So let's hop into a little bit more about mindset. And guys, if you have any questions for me along the way, please feel free to pop the questions in the chat and I will try to remember. Yeah, Yvonne, a superpowers form has been super eye-opening for Yvonne. I know she sent me a message the other day. I really, really enjoyed that. And that's why I know I'm on the right path when we start with that, because people get to learn a little bit about themselves and what has been holding them back from launching their business this whole time. Like what's actually been the issues and how can we overcome those so that we don't make that mistake on this 6-month journey of getting things up, running, and launched, right? Okay, so top 5 reasons people fear starting up a business. We're going to go through those. What if I fail? So I told you I've had 8 startup businesses that I've built, launched, and run. Some good, some bad, some ugly. I'll just be honest with you. Not all of them have been exactly what I've wanted them to be. And there's probably more than 8 stuck in there that sort of tried to kind of put together and launch. And then they just kind of, for whatever reason, weren't working. And we did away with them before they even really launched into a full-on business, right? So what if you do fail? I can tell you that I have learned more from my failures in starting up businesses than I have from my successes. Don't get me wrong, I have learned how to be successful in business, but a lot of that has come from my failures. So in this program, I really try to help take all of that knowledge that's been gained through the 8 startups that have been successful and have been failures. And I try to speed up and shorten your distance to a successful run by having that for you, already have been gone through that and done that. So I said, I have a 4-year business and marketing degree, my bachelor's degree, and I have learned way more from the experience of being in business and failed businesses and attempts than I ever learned in my business degree. Did the business degree help? Of course it did. It gave me the base. It gives you a basic understanding of how business should start and operate. But I have learned way more in my experiences. And I had a conversation with somebody, a marketing person, the other day, and I was like, yeah, I have experience in marketing. I actually have like a minor in it from my bachelor's degree. But marketing has changed a whole lot in the last 20 years that it's almost irrelevant at this point because of social media and the way we have the ability to build online businesses. When I was in college, online businesses were probably just nicking the iceberg, and they weren't even actually online businesses. They were businesses that had the opportunity to be present online, right? There's a big difference. Like you can have a mom and pop shop down the road that sells only locally stuff, like my pool supply store that I've got to run to later. They're a locally owned store. They're online because they want to have an online presence, but they don't service people or sell online, right? So there's 2 different ways of doing business that way. So just a little side note, what I really like helping people do is create online businesses that they can run from anywhere. That way, like I said, you have the freedom and flexibility to work from wherever you want, whenever you want. And I said at the beginning of this that I was thinking about getting dressed up and all professional for the Zoom today. And then I was like, nope, you know what I'm doing after this? I'm going to run some errands. I'm going to fit in some more business activity. And then I'm having people over in my pool and a barbecue later. And I have my swimming suit on underneath my clothes. And I'm telling you that because that's very specifically who I want to help, is people who want that lifestyle. So I thought, why get dressed up in business attire and look all professional when that is not what you're actually trying to do for people? You are trying to create this lifestyle. So if that is you, and that's the kind of mindset that you want to have on a daily basis, and that's what you want to be able to do, then we're going to teach you how to succeed not fail, but we are also going to teach you along the way that you will have support in a community that will be there for you along the way when you take little dips that seem like failure, and will pick you back up and will get you back on track. And that is a reason for being in a program like this, is so that you do have that, because there's going to be some things along the way. And what if you do fail? I have this no quit, all determination attitude. So personally, failure isn't really an option. They're just lessons. We just learn along the way. And sometimes people are afraid to fail because they're afraid for other people to see them fail. It's as if they didn't make it. So, oh, the people who were who were that crowd who have opinions that might be around were like, I knew they wouldn't do it anyways. And you don't want people to feel that way about you. So it's really just a mind shift thing. Or what if you let yourself down? Right? So those mindset things, the what if I fail things, we work on, and you have 6 months in the program that I do. You have 6 months of having someone by your side, holding your hand, in a community of people that make sure that you don't. Okay. Do I have enough knowledge? That's number 2. That's the second reason people fear starting up a business, is do you have enough knowledge on how to do it? And that's exactly why I've created the Self-Made program, is because not everybody does have a business degree. Not everybody has already started up 8 businesses and knows exactly what you need to do and what you shouldn't do and all the things to avoid. So even if you don't have enough knowledge, I just said, I have a business degree. I've been in business for 18 years. I've done 8 startups, and I spent $130,000 on my own business coaching in the last 12 months. Will I do that every year? No, I had massive goals for this business for this year. So when I tell you that if you decide to do this program with me at the end of all of this, you will know that you're getting $130,000 worth of education spit back out to you over the next 6 months, because that's exactly why I took it, so that I could make a very streamlined and structured program for people to make sure they succeed. So do I have enough knowledge? You have enough knowledge in whatever it is that you decide that you're going to create as your online business, and anything else we fill the gaps in for. I had somebody come to me this past week that is interested in being a part of this group coaching program, and she has a ton of knowledge in her field and was wondering if she could create something like this, but wondered if she needed to go get more certifications than what she already had. And I was like, no, you absolutely don't. What you do need is someone to help you structure the business so that you can go and monetize on all of the knowledge and experience that you already have. And so to just help with the mindset a little bit more. And this is somebody that has, not hired me yet and has not, but I do the pre-work with you before you even hire me, because I really do care. And one thing we will talk about before we hop off of here is having the mindset for your customer base, for your customer service. I want to help you understand how invested I get with you in this program. So before she's even getting started, I want her to see. So I took her to a place that I know online where I could show her how many people were in and around her space, not doing exactly what she wants to do, but somewhat in her space, and how many people were doing it with less experience than her and had already become successful at it and asked for their websites so we could go look at all of them for examples. That was enough to push her over the edge to go, well, you know what? I can do this. Now I just need all the rest of the building blocks to put this together. Where do I get that? That's where I come in, right? So do I have enough knowledge? You will have enough knowledge. You have enough knowledge on your specialty, and then we put all the rest of the building blocks together together. Will I make enough money? That's something we will evaluate in the program. It's an entire set of things that we go through, is how we monetize. Sydney, who is a part of my program right now, we sat down, and I'll just give you a little breakdown of how we go through this part of the process. I don't necessarily make it exactly about your service or product. We make it about how many days a week do you want to work? How many hours a week do you want to put in? How many hours a week do you want off for your free time and flexibility? Because that is why we are building this. And then around that, we decide how much knowledge you have, what you're giving to people, what that value is, and how much of it, and how often, and how we can set it up to monetize it so that you make exactly the amount of money that you want to make to start. And then we work to scale it. my guarantee to people is that by the end of our program, we will have you up and running and making $5,000 a month with your new business to start, or you stay in my program until we get you there. I don't ever want anybody leaving my program going, it didn't work. So I will keep you in the program until you are at least generating $5,000 a month in revenue in your program. Now, there are some stipulations to that. You've got to actually do the work and put the business together. You can't just sit there the whole time and not put the business together and the moving parts, but that is what we do. So will I make enough money? Everybody's monetary needs are different. So we walk through that. We customize it. We make sure that you will be making enough money. Number 4, how do I handle uncertainty? What happens when I don't know what I'm doing? What happens when I get fearful? Guys, I go to bed every night having to do some mind shift work, which I teach you to do, some mind shift work on, yes, I am good enough. Yes, I can do this. Yes, that's why I hired these coaches. I have them to lean on. I spent that type of money so that I would have very strong people to lean on through this business journey of my own, right? And so those are how we handle. There's going to be days in your business journey that you're going to question your sanity, if you can do it, if you'll make enough money, if you're able, if this will work. And that's why I tell people, even if it's not me, which I would want everybody to join my program, is that's just how it is when you're in business, right? But if you don't have someone like me, you need to hire someone like me. And if you've hired coaches in the past or have been through programs in the past, and that is not what you got out of it, I am sorry, because that is not how it should be. You should have a community and a mentor that you can lean on when you become uncertain, so we can get you back on track. I try to make myself as accessible as possible to the people who are in my program, so that there is never a lack of communication or a picking up when we need it, when our mindset shifts in the wrong direction, okay? Because mindset in your business is absolutely everything. You will not make enough money. You will not succeed. You will not have a good business. You will not have a customer. You will not have good customers. You will not have an audience. You will not have a succeeding business if you don't have the right mindset. So we always go back to that and shift you back into overdrive when things seem to be downshifting and not going in the direction you want them to. How do I balance time? This is one of my favorite subjects. And if you are in my program, you already know that. So top 5 reasons people fear starting up a business. The last one, and I would almost make this the first one. Actually, what if I fail is always the first one. How do I balance time? So in this I would say I'm a time and organized time management guru. I would literally put myself on that guru scale. I put together in this program exactly what I do to crush my every single day, all of the things I need to get done. Most people that I end up meeting with, not as a client perspective, but in other types of other flanks of my business, things that I'm building out, which I'll talk a little bit about the platform that y'all will have access to as well inside of our program. But when I'm having business conversations and people are asking me like, so do you have a person that works on this for you? And who does your graphics? And who's built your website? And who's done this part of it? And do you have employees? And I'm like, no, this is a one-man operation, one-woman operation. I do it all on my own. I just finally hired a virtual assistant who does just a very few limited tasks for me each week that I've been able to offload. But other than that, this entire thing I do, and it's because I have learned how to manage my time appropriately. And do I still have time for fun and for my family and for the things I love? Absolutely. However, I will say I am in absolute build mode of the self-made brand. And so a lot of extras come second. I will work 7 days a week, but there will be times where I take off 4. Right? And I can do that because we have built a lifestyle business based on freedom and flexibility. And that is what I want to help you build too. So how do you balance time? People will say, I'm already working a full-time job and I'm going to start this along with it. How do I balance all of it? Well, a lot of it comes back to mindset. Will you make the time for it? Will you make the time for it? Will you set aside the time that's important for your business? Or will you make up excuses, and will other things become important or too important for you to be able to manage all of the things that need to get done? Inside of the program, I literally set your entire to-do list up with you. You have to fill in the blanks, but there's an entire program and template for that, so that we teach you how to stay on top of every single thing that actually needs to be built out for your business, and so that you stay on track on all of the things that need to be built out, and how we squeeze extra time out. And a lot of time management, what I have found, is all about organizing yourself. So if you have things organized in a place that you could always find them, that is not, I teach very much about being digital. Notebooks are great. When you're in meetings, you got to take notes. Notebooks are great. Then they need to be transcribed into digital spaces. Anything you work on needs to be in a digital space, so that you can work on your business anytime, anywhere, from a parking lot when you're sitting waiting for a doctor's appointment, or on an airplane traveling, or as a passenger in a car. I say as a passenger because I don't want you working when you're driving. And so you'll always have spaces and places you can put things that you really didn't even know existed, or you weren't thinking about it existing. One of the first pieces I take you through is a 7-day habit tracking scenario. I ask you to track your time for 7 days, because we will find the spaces and places that we can put additional things that you weren't necessarily thinking about, where we can stack some things together. So how do I balance time? We work on that, and we make sure that you are absolutely capitalizing on all the time that you do have to build your business. And the one question I always ask is, mindset wise, where are you at? How bad do you want this? How much do you want to make, and how soon do you want to get there? That starts freeing up people's calendars a lot faster than anything else, because when I ask you how much you want to make and how fast you want to get there, we start deciding what needs to come off your plate that maybe is on your plate, that might be things that, you know what, right now, that just, I can't do that in my life right now, because within 3 years, here's where I want to be. And what I help you do is balance those things, justify the things that you spend your free time doing right now, that maybe if you built the business and in 3 years' time, you'll have a whole lot more free time and flexibility to do those things, that right now we might just not be able to do those things. We've got to replace that time with business building activities, so we can get this thing up and off the ground, and you can be making the exact amount of money you want to make with the amount of hours that you want to put in each week. Okay. So that's the time balance part that we'll work on. Here's some different, I would say 5 different very important mindsets that you need to have in and when growing your business. First and foremost is your growth mindset. We have to have if you look at, there's some different charts on growth mindset. We have to have the capacity to want to grow all the time. Now, okay, I'll put this in perspective for you. I am in 2 different ways. I'm going to put this in 2 different ways. I have a business degree, right? And I have 18 years in business and 8 startups. Okay. I say that repeatedly, so you know where I'm going with this. I also decided that I was going to pour the last 12 months pour a lot of money into my own growth, so that I could become the very best in this space. Okay. That's the kind of growth mindset you need. Now, I don't know what each and all of your businesses are, but I do know that in your space, you want to be the best. The best means you are always learning, you're always growing. And when things get in your way, we have a growth mindset about it, so that we can tackle challenges and move past them. In some business experiences that I've had in the last few years, man, I was taken down a bit. There were some things that really threw some punches. There were partnerships that broke apart, and some friendships that got ruined in the process. And to come out of that, you have to have a growth mindset. You also have to have the second one, which is resiliency. When the things do take you down, when roadblocks get in the way, and there will be, not everything will go perfect through the building of your business and the launch of your business. You will have things that will stop you. I have a friend right now that's opening a brick and mortar store that has asked me some questions in Messenger, and we've talked through some things. And she had her whole plan for getting up and running and launched by a certain date, and the city or township got in the way with legalities. It wasn't something she was expecting. She had a person in her life that was supposed to be building out some of the physical things she needed for inside of the space in order to operate. And that person walked out of her life, and it changed things. She needed to plan, do, review, and not give up, not quit. She knew she needed to consult somebody who might be able to get her back on track and give her the mindset shift back that she needed. And so she got in my inbox. That's what you need to do. You've got to have some resiliency to get through those things when the going gets tough. Customer focused always. When you're looking at building an audience and having a customer base that continues to come to you and continues to come back for more and continues to be your customer, you have to be focused on what's in it for them. So your mindset in business should always have a customer focused initiative, should always have, it used to bother me when I was younger and didn't know better. And I was not a business owner. I was an employee at this point, just fresh out of college. I was an operations manager for a big box retailer. And so I ran the customer service department, was one of the departments underneath me. And that saying, the customer is always right, drove me nuts. It drove me nuts, but it also wasn't my business, right? I was an employee. So my customer-centered focus probably wasn't 100% where it needed to be because it wasn't my business. When we're running our own business and operating our own business, it's a little bit different how we see the customer is always right. Now, to this day and age, I still don't necessarily believe that that is always the answer. I think there needs to be flexibility in that. But we need to have a customer-focused business. Customers want to know what's in it for them, not what's in it for you, but what's in it for them. And as you build your business, you might remain a one-man operation, or you might enroll or obtain some employees or team. And that needs to go from the top down. So another thing that we work on immediately in this program is core values, so that you can set those for your business, so that you and everyone operating in your business flows through your set of core values. I can tell you right here in my office next to my screen is my list of core values that I literally put every decision through for my business every single day. And it sits there so I never forget, not necessarily what my core values are, because I know what they are, but I never forget to put decision-making through them. If it doesn't go through my core values, it doesn't happen. And so that will keep you a very customer-focused business too, having a set of core values. And then that way, if you bring some team members on, we teach them your same core values and everyone operates on the same page. One mistake I made in business a long time ago with a couple of partnership businesses was not setting core values in the business immediately. So along the way, when things are in disagreement or misalignment, if you take those decisions that you're focused on or things that are happening in the business and you throw them through your core values, if everyone has agreed on them, then you know what the right answer is. When you don't have those in place, everything's just kind of haphazard and people operate, especially in partnerships or different team members that you've brought in, or if you're a network marketer, team members that you have, how your team operates, how you do things. Things can get really messy really fast when you don't have those set up. I wish so much in some of those businesses I could go back, and one of the first things I would do is we would sit down, and as a group we would come up with the core values that we want for our business. And this is on customer things too. Listen, like Sid and I have talked about this a number of times about one of our core values is resourcefulness. And when you're in a coaching business, one of the things that we like to teach our people right away is resourcefulness, where to find things and how to be resourceful, because it saves everybody a whole lot of time, effort, and energy and frustration when things are there at your fingertips, but you're not being resourceful to find them. So we teach resourcefulness right away because we want people to be resourceful so that they're never stuck not knowing where something is or where they can find it, but also so that they start to learn that piece of their business. So you will learn your core values and set your core values for your business. And if it's not with me, make sure that's something you sit down and do in your business now or before you get started. Mindset, persistency in mindset. We have to have an attitude of persistency at all times. You are going to be thrown punches. There is going to be work that you are going to have to do to get this business up and running and soaring and scaling and making money. And there are going to be times where you are knocked down. You have to be persistent. One of my favorite sayings, and I think it drives my husband nuts, is where there's a will, there's a way. And I have said that for a very long time. When I hear no, I don't hear it. I honestly don't. When someone tells me that can't be done or we can't do that, I will go find a way that we can, or I will find someone who can do it for me. I literally just had it happen this morning. I am building out a platform for everybody to be able to build their moving parts and technology and pieces inside of this program. And it's almost ready. I'm so excited. I can't wait to showcase it. Maybe by Saturday in this workshop, I'll be able to showcase the inside of it because I'm so in love with it. And it's going to be the answer to so many people's prayers inside of their businesses. But I had a gentleman that was working on a project for me inside of it. And he's like, you know what, I just don't think it's possible to do that. And I was like, okay, thank you for your time. And I went on, and within an hour's time, I found somebody that can do it. And I rehired the project. And I did that fast. You have to be persistent on what you want for your goals and for your dreams and for your business, and don't give up until you get there. So that mindset of persistency is necessary. Also, if you are the type of person who, when the going gets tough, I love, I think Kathleen had jumped on here and then she had an appointment. She jumped off. She is part of my group coaching program right now. And one of the things that she realized about herself and doing the 12-hour walk that she did, I do give people, I got to tell you guys about the 12-hour walk before we hop off of here, because it is definitely a piece of the mindset. But I shorten it for the people in my program because 12 hours is extremely intense. And I do think that you should do it. But if you don't, I do shorten it for everybody in my program and tell them they have to at least do 4 hours. Well, she did that. And the biggest thing that came out of that for her was one of the biggest pieces she needed to move forward in her business. And it was that when things get hard, she pauses. And so during this walk that she did, when it got a little bit hard, her mind kept telling her, maybe I should stop. Maybe I should take a pause. Maybe I should take a break. And that's when she realized this was the right program for her, because what she needed was a coach and a mentor and somebody who could keep her going in the program and not pause when things got hard. So if you are the type of person who tends to pause on pieces of your project or pieces of your business or getting it started because it seems a little bit hard, or it seems like there might be roadblocks, and you need someone that will do the pushing, that you can weigh in the ideas and weigh in what's happening and then push you to keep persistent on your journey, this is the right program for you, because I will do that. I'm a little bit of a pusher. I will make sure you stay persistent. I want to see, I have a vested interest in seeing people's businesses succeed. I am not a coach that will put you through my program and then at the end of the day, it's either make it or break it for you. I want to use you as an example. I want to be able to have you as a reference. I want to be able to know that at the end of the day, I made a difference. And there's one more woman who now has a business that allows her to have the freedom and flexibility that she dreamed of, and that she can keep building on forever, and that we will remain connected for as long as we get a chance to, and I get to watch that business soar. It took me so long. You know, when people they say this in network marketing a lot, and I had 10 years of experience in that field. Very successful, by the way. It's one of the very successful attempts at business that I've had. But one thing they say all the time in that business is Oh my gosh, literally just lost my train of thought. I'll get back to it. I'll come back to it when I think of it. Let me tell you about the 12-hour walk, and then I want to talk to you about innovation for a second in your business. So the 12-hour walk, last October, and it's super important because it's why Self-Made was created. Last October, I ran into this podcast. Ed Milet Show is one of my favorite podcasts, and he was interviewing a gentleman by the name of Colin O'Brady. And Colin O'Brady wrote a book called The Impossible First. And so I went and I read that. But what they talked about on the podcast was actually his 12-hour walk challenge. But I went and grabbed the book first and listened to that. And I was so enthralled with the book and what he had done. That I was like, all right, then I got to find out what the 12-hour walk was about. And so he takes you through this whole process of just literally walking out your front door and setting down all technology so that your brain can rest, and going on this 12-hour walk and not coming back until the 12 hours is over. I did not feel safe just walking. I live in a very safe area, but I lived down a bunch of dirt roads, and I didn't want to walk down dirt roads all day with, people flying down at 50 miles an hour and just not anywhere to go. So I planned mine out a little bit more, and I drove to a park that's near me that I know has like 8 miles of walking trails in one direction and a bunch in another direction. And I knew I could use my vehicle as home base to like have a cooler and food and stuff. If I could come back and take a lunch break and all that. So I did the 12-hour walk back in October, and I took a little notebook with me and wrote down everything that came to my mind. I left my phone on airplane mode and did not touch technology for 12 straight hours. It was the best decision of my career. I can tell you that. And it all has to do with mindset. It's why I start there. Because if you don't stop to figure out the mindset pieces first, you will continue to block yourself. You will continue to hit roadblocks. You will not have growth mindset. You will not be persistent in your journey. I figured out in that 12 hours, my entire business plan and launch for the Self-Made business. I would never have done that if I didn't shut down for 12 hours and go on that walk. It would have never happened. It was everything that I needed and so much more. One of my biggest cheerleaders on that walk was a friend of mine that I've met in a mastermind program by the name of Paul. And I just saw yesterday that he just did his 12-hour walk. He was my biggest cheerleader back in October, and I absolutely loved him for it. And he just finally did his. And if you read his post, I shared it with my my group coaching program. It's done the same thing for him. And I cannot wait to see where it takes him over the next 6 months of where it's taken me over the last 6-8 months. And so we do start with that in our program. I strongly urge the 12-hour walk. And if you just want to get started on that now, it's summertime, get it scheduled, get it done. Make sure you stay safe, ladies, because that's important to me too. I don't know if it's always necessary for women to walk out their front door and just leave for 12 hours and come back. You can do this just about anywhere. It's a game changer, and I highly, highly recommend it to get the head screwed on straight for the journey you are already taking, the journey you're about to take, or the shifts that you need in your business. Massive. And some people say, well, what if I physically cannot walk for 12 hours? It's too much. I tell people in my program, give me 4. Give me 4, shut down completely, no phone, no audibles, no podcasts, nothing in your ears, nothing, no talking, no texting, nothing. You tell everybody ahead of time what you're going to be doing. And if I can get 4 hours out of you, I think you'll learn a lot in 4 hours. If I can get 12, it pushes your brain to places that you didn't know existed. I promise you. If it did it for me, it will do it for you. So if you can commit to the 12, outstanding. And program or not, if you do this, you have to tell me. Like, you have to send me a message. You have to tell me. So if physically it's not something you can do it shorter. If you still are like, I physically am unable to walk that far, even for 4 hours. I have told some people, go to a park, get a blanket, do some stretching, do some yoga, do some meditating, do not fall asleep, and do not pull out your phone, but you could do something similar to that. You can get creative and take the time to do that. Now, if you're physically not able and you're going to do something like what I just said, then I challenge you to do the 12 hours, because you will not be physically active. You can actually spend the 12 hours. And if you say that you can't, it's a mindset issue. You should tell me about it, because we'll fix that. Okay, last on the mindset and business piece, innovation. innovation, innovation. You have to stay relevant at all times. You have to stay technology focused. The last day of this program, I will really talk to you about taking your business online and the tools and technologies that you will need to do it and how I can help you with that. So if you're like, I don't know how to stay innovative in my business. And when I say that, I don't just mean technology. I look back at my business experience with my last network marketing company and I say, gosh, what we did on day one in that business that took me to the top rank in 8 months or less is not what you can do today. You cannot do those same things today and get the same thing out of it. I just learned a process. P.S. I just gave this process, well, the start of it, to the group coaching program I have going right now, the people who are in it. I learned this new process that I told them, and we're going to work on it more on Saturday on our virtual, but I told them if I would have known this process, I paid a lot of money for this process, by the way, to learn it. And now I'm giving it to them. I'm teaching it. If I would have learned this process 3 years ago, oh my gosh, the damage I could have done in my network marketing business. Now, am I still in network marketing? Yes, I still have some affiliations, but I'm focused 100% on my self-made business and building other people's businesses and helping with that. But if I could deploy that in a network marketing business model right now, oh my God. Oh, that's all I have to say. Like, you have to be innovative. And part of being innovative is hiring people to teach you different things to do in your business so that you can keep it growing. Staying innovative. I'm building a platform so that all of you will have something where you can build all the technology pieces. That's part of me being innovative in my business. I don't want to just coach. I want to help you have all the pieces you will need to build your business. Okay. So staying innovative is a mindset and a piece that you need to keep inside of your business at all times. Lastly, I'm going to just walk you through my process and then we'll hop off of here. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. We're going to talk about some business basics tomorrow. It's the secondary part of my program. But here's how I help people. This is my 12X Accelerator business blueprint. And I like to show this so that you know exactly what you get out of me when working with me. And so we start you off as maybe an entrepreneurial explorer, right? You're somebody who's either totally novice and doesn't know anything about business, just knows they want to have one, or you have been in business for yourself for a little while and maybe just haven't taken it to the next level and need a little bit of help. Maybe you dove into business like I have a few times with very little experience in what you were doing and how you could get to a successful how you could get to scale, how you could get to the successful part. So I help entrepreneurial, that's a tongue twister, by the way, entrepreneurial explorer. And then at the end, at the top of this, we want to take you to an empowered entrepreneur. I want people to not go through what I went through. I want you to be able to build a business that you can work inside of at first so that you know all the moving parts and pieces. You have control over all of the things. And then at the end, when you know how to do all of it, you can hire out all of the other pieces that cost so much more money to hire people out to do them, because you will always be able to take back over if someone quits or walks away or screws something up or does something wrong or money gets tight and you just need to be able to do it yourself. So we're going to teach you, we like to teach you all of those things and then empower you at the end so that you are capable of working in your business. But at some point you will hire out and you will work on your business, but always will be empowered enough to come back in and work inside of your business when it's needed. Okay, so first step is discovery. We go through that superpowers form. I will give that to you in an email that will go out today for all the registrants. Some of you have already filled that superpowers form out. It's also in the Self-Made Community Facebook group. You can access it there. But the discovery roadmap is kind of going through all of the core values, the mindset pieces, the discovery of what you want to build or what you want to build onto that you already have. Okay. And then step 2 is capacity. We are going to schedule out your time. We are going to put together an entire plan on how you get from point A to point B and all of the little things in between so that you never question on a daily basis what you need to do to get things done. And we're going to work on your capacity. We're going to move some things around in your life. We're going to make sure that you have time to build this business. And then 3 is CEO mode activated. We got to teach you the mindset mastery of being the CEO of not just your business, but your life too. You're in charge of your destiny. I say this a lot too. You get one shot at this thing called life. You get one, right? You get one. What do you want to make of it? And do you want to be the CEO of your life and your business and your family? I look at it like, I want to be able to be the one who, when the family needs something, moms, dads, sisters, brothers, cousins, I want to be, and I am, and you can ask anybody who knows me, I am the person they come to. I am the person they come to for advice. I'm the person they come to fix problems. I am the person that everybody comes to. I want to be that person because I like being the CEO of what is going on in or in around my life. And then we move up to the second level. So that first level is discovery. We're going to discover all the things and start putting a few things in place. And we're going to take you from a confused person to very clarifying what you're going to do inside of your business. Okay. And then we're going to go to build mode. And in build mode, we are going to take you from a little bit of an unfocused, not sure what your brand is doing. We're going to help you create those brand assets and create an entire vision for your company. And then we're going to go to the second portion, which is all of your tools, the business basics, getting all, like I have some people in this phase of their, in my program right now, they're all setting up their LLCs and getting their businesses registered and getting all of their domains registered and getting everything ready to have email marketing done and all of the moving parts and pieces. And then I teach you the tech toolbox that I'm putting together so that you'll have everything in one place. Again, I will cover more of that toolbox on Saturday so that you can see it and everything that it encompasses. And then lastly, in the build portion of it is audience, building that audience. I just started unleashing this part to my group coaching program, the people who are in the first starter program this week. They're going to get a lot more of it tomorrow. I'm so excited, or on Saturday. But we help you build your audience. We show you exactly how to do it organically. And then down the road, if you want to add on things like ads on Facebook or Google or things like that, we'll be able to point you in the right direction. We don't teach all of that inside this program. It would be way too much, but we are teaching how to organically grow your audience so that you have it doesn't matter what type of business you are, as long as it can be operated online in some capacity, we can teach you how to build that audience organically so that you have customers coming to you. This is the part I wish I would have had 3 years ago in my network marketing business. Number 7 is we're going to go up to the last category. We're going to take you up to the last category, which is the launch part of your business. And even if you are a launched business, we are going to relaunch your business with our money mapping method. We're going to take you from we're going to show you how to monetize what you have in a better way, or all together. Like we just sat down and did this with Sydney's whole program in the last month. And we did the entire, from what she wants to make, how many hours she wants to work, what she needs to make this go. She knows exactly 1 year from now what she's going to be making monthly. And we're putting all of those pieces in place. We know exactly what she's charging for different parts of her program, and we have monetized the entire thing. So we do that. And then we move to a little bit of personal development and a growth plan for you and possibly for your team so that you have something in place. So if you have to hire out and you bring people in, we help you yourself first be empowered and give you the ability to translate that then over to a team that's coming on and a personal development plan and path for you to keep growing in your business, because we don't want to just launch and stay there. We want to launch and then keep building on till you get to the point where you are completely satisfied. And then we just build some more if you want to. And then last but not least is we put this Launchpad on repeat. We give you a plan that you can continue to relaunch every 90 days so that you're continuing to build on and up level your business. So we don't just get you to this point and then we're like, here you go. We like to give you a plan so that you can relaunch every 90 days and stay relevant and innovative in your business. All right. I think I am literally 1 minute over 11 o'clock. I didn't even know if I'd be able to talk that long. And those of you who already know me are probably like, yeah, right. You can always talk that long. I love what I do. I hope that has shined through in this workshop today. I know some of you are considering jumping into it. I know some of you Money is an object right now. There's different things sitting in your way. I know some of you are just kicking tires, and that's totally okay. I hope, number one, that you've learned something from me today, because if I can empower you to go and crush a piece of your business, or even dream a little bit more of getting started in your business, then I've accomplished what I wanted to today. And that means the world to me, because I really do want to help a bunch of females be able to create freedom and flexibility in their business. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit more about business basics, and then a little bit on Saturday about how to launch into the online space and the tech toolbox that we are creating for entrepreneurs, and all the pieces that will come with that if you're a part of that program. And then I will also show you on Saturday, if you want to get started with me in our group coaching program, exactly how you can do that. But thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have not filled out the superpowers form, I greatly suggest it, and we'll get that off to you. And also check out the 12-hour walk. I think that it might just be exactly what your mindset piece is looking for. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. Jump in my inbox if you have any questions for me, and I hope to see you guys back here tomorrow.